I got nothing to talk about, I'm not gonna lie, but recently I was thinking about Vanek, and Thomas Vanek in particular, because Vanek is probably the only free agent signing that we've had over the past offseason that's actually making a good and impactful contribution to the Canucks, and you guys can probably disagree with me on that if you want. I mean, who did we have this offseason? We had Gagne, Burmistrov, Weirkoch, Vanek, Del Zotto, and then there was somebody else, I'm pretty sure, I forgot. Jolin Chatfield, I guess. But overall, taking a look at what we have in terms of free agent signings, Vanek is probably the best out of all of them so far. I mean, you could say Del Zotto, but I like Vanek. And that's why I'm talking about this here today. What should the Canucks do with Thomas Vanek? And there are basically three options here, because we signed him to a 1-year, $2 million contract. I think everybody knows about that. But there are three options here. Either A, we trade him at the trade deadline for assets. B, he stays on the team, he re-signs, and he plays next season, maybe the season after that. Or C, he walks. First off, let's establish that C is a no-go. We don't want another Vrbata Hammy situation. If we have players that are going to go away to free agency, trade them away, get some assets back for them, because we know that we're not going to be a playoff team. We don't need Vanek for a playoff run. We don't need a playoff talent within Vanek for our team. So, if he's gonna walk, then that would absolutely be pointless unless we won the cup, which we're not going to. So C, that option's done. And besides, I'm pretty sure Benning has known from his mistakes in the past with Vrbata and Hamhuis. I don't think he's that intellectually void enough to let Vanek walk, but, you know, anything can happen. For the most part, though, I believe that Benning will make a good decision. So that leaves us with two things left. Either he stays or he gets traded. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'd be okay with either one. Now hear me out. I know that everybody is saying, oh, when we signed Thomas Vanek, we signed a 3rd round pick in the draft. And okay, that's fine. If we traded Vanek for a 3rd round pick, I'd be fine with that, because that means more youth, more draft picks, more room for trader Jim Benning, scout Jim Benning, to show off his best skill, which is scouting. That's all fine and dandy, and I believe that that's the majority of the expectations within the Vancouver Canucks fanbase. But I want to talk about Vanek staying, because Thomas Vanek right now on the team, he's got 23 points in 37 games, 10 goals. He's on pace for like 51 points over an 82-game stretch, and over an 82-game stretch, he's on pace for 20 goals. A feat that he hasn't accomplished since 2014-15 with the Minnesota Wild. I don't want to say that playing with the Canucks, this has been a revitalization of Thomas Vanek, and this is the revival of his career. No, it's far from that, but I'm just saying that Vanek playing on the Canucks, statistically speaking, is better than the Vanek that was playing with the Florida Panthers last year, as well as the Detroit Red Wings. So, I don't want to believe that Vanek is going to become an all-star player again like he was 10 years ago. That's absolutely unrealistic. I mean, his peak season was in 2007. He got 84 points in 82 games. That was pretty good. Vanek has always been a player who's demanded respect from the rest of the league. I've always liked how Vanek plays, and watching him with the Vancouver Canucks, I don't get more excited for anybody else when I see somebody else winding up for a slap shot. Brock Besser, you could say arguably, but I get more excited for Thomas Vanek's slap shot. And he does have a lot of bad moments too. I mean, defensively against Calgary in that really bad game where we choked, he didn't have any good moments in that one, but for the most part, Vanek shows throughout the season that he does have some skill left in the tank. And he did get a hat-trick earlier this year too, so yeah, that's pretty good. Thomas Vanek is somebody who genuinely plays well, and because of this, I wouldn't mind seeing Jim Benning signing him for a 1 or 2 year deal to go into the next season or two. I'd be fine with seeing Thomas Vanek on the wings of some of our other centers, or on the outskirts of some of these other lines with youngins. I want to see a player like Vanek be able to contribute and help the development of our younger guys. That's cool, right? If we had a good veteran presence like Vanek, like the Sedins, like Louis Eriksson, who, I mean, he's staying on the team either way. There's no way we're moving that contract. If we had these leadership guys contributing to the development of guys like Goldolbin, Besser, Pedersen, Dahlin, that's pretty good. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see it if we gave Vanek a chance to stay with the Vancouver Canucks and be a positive influence on these guys. That would be cool, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Honestly, I just don't want him to walk, because if he walks, that's a bad decision by GM Jim Benning. If he's still on this team after the deadline, I want to see him in a Canucks sweater next season, or the next season. If he's out of the Canucks organization by the trade deadline, then that means that we got some draft picks, maybe a prospect. I have no idea how much his worth is right now. You could take a look at what he was traded for last year and compare it to that, but I don't know, man. He's a little bit better than last year, statistically speaking, and I think he could really make a good impact on a playoff team that really wants to do well. Because that slapper, man, he's got a good one. He's got a really good one. And for the most part, I just wish him the best. Because as long as he's happy here, as long as he doesn't become another Radim Verbata who asks to play with Bo Horvat and then gets pissed off after Horvat doesn't give him any points, as long as he doesn't become that angry, grizzled vet who doesn't want to be on the team anymore, I'd be okay with keeping him. Because I like Vanek. I like him a lot. I think he does a lot of things well. And I think he'd have a good role on this team if he were to stay. So that's what I think. Comment down below what you guys want to happen with all of our free agents. Vanek, Delzato, Weirkoch, Burmistrov, okay, no, not Burmistrov, Gagne, and then, like, the other guys who we signed too, I forgot. Anders Nielsen, right, I forgot. He was another free agent signing as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video for Plusing to National Short Selling Gaming, and bye.